I have been on this journey with grief. It's been so difficult. I never grieved the loss of my mother.
What was your mom's name?
Mildred. She had a 5-year battle with breast cancer. I remember having that ugly, ugly, hurtful cry the night of her funeral. Can you have compounding grief? My sister's loss has just been heavy, like painful physically. I wasn't just grieving my sister's loss 3 years ago, but I was grieving everything that I've ever lost. People just think it's death. I didn't even know marriage was supposed to be treated like grief.
Ambiguous grief is a death with no funeral. Grieving is the process of learning how to live in the world without them.
I just chose to isolate because it just seemed easier to go through it in that way.
It's more helpful for us to think of grief not as a journey, but a language. The goal of a language is not to finish, it is to become fluent for the purpose of connection.
All of us see grief in a different way. We will always have loss.
It is a thing that we lean into. The only people that get stuck in grief are people that try to avoid grief. Life is as fragile as it is precious. And so what grief does, if we'll let it, is it makes us a better, more present version of ourselves.
I want to invite you into one of the most brave and courageous journeys of your life, and that is to pursue you. Welcome to the Pursue You podcast. There's no one greater to pursue, and I'm excited to take this journey with you. I'll be honest, I don't even know how to start this intro because I have been on this journey with grief, and it's been so difficult. Because really, a lot of times not because I didn't have support, because I had so many people loving on me and wanting to help, but I just chose to isolate because it just seemed easier to go through it in that way. What I realized was I wasn't just grieving my sister's loss 3 years ago, but I was grieving everything that I've ever lost, or whatever that was shifted and changed in some way. And today, our guest, I'm gonna call him Dr. John. Now my brother, my friend, is going to help, I believe, all of us see grief in a different way and the healthiest way in which to look at it and to process it. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
My sister.
He came to free me.
There we go, free pet.
I love it. I love it. I want to be free.
Oh, come on.
When I tell you, when you said that, it did something for me. Well, you saw me. They're not going to let me jump up now because I'm all, I wanted to, I did jump up. I want to jump up again.
You were free.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to say this so bad. I'm going to have to probably change it afterwards. My passcode to my phone is I'm free. Right now. IMFREE is my passcode.
What was it before? Yeah, probably just some random numbers.
Or like something, it might have been Virginia.
Okay.
It was something, whatever.
So then
I went straight like about, I think 2021-ish, I changed my phone number. And that's what came to me. I'm free.
Free from?
Honey.
Or free of?
That's why I wanted to talk to you.
Okay.
I believe now, when I look back 5 years, I was free to go and pursue Pat. Mm-hmm. I was free to leave all the identities, all of my past shame, hurt, disappointments, and be free to live.
What had you unfree or bound prior to that point?
The crazy part is I realized I was already free, right? And I know we talked earlier, you're a pastor, you pastor churches and ministry.
Former pastor. I make sure to bring that out.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know,
you still pastor, like
you're
pastoring me in this moment. And I'm the same, I'm an ordained elder and minister, which sometimes it makes it even harder to go through things because I believe I had set up in my mind a standard in which I needed to live. So like, you can't grieve because you are supposed to be a woman of faith. How can you not trust God and you should know this, right? You shouldn't be grieving this long. You know where they've gone. Like, let me tell you something, that's one of those things when people say they're in a better place. And I will say this, Bishop Jakes freed me on that one. He said, you're not grieving because they've gone on to be with the Lord. You are grieving because of where they left, okay?
Yeah.
He freed me on that one. Free of, I've been through 2 marriages that didn't work. Free from feeling abandoned because I lost my mom so early. Free.
Yeah, what was your mom's name?
Mildred.
Mildred.
Mm-hmm. Mildred Page Brinkley Southall.
Mildred Page Brinkley Southall. Where did you go when I asked you your name? Because when you said, I lost my mom, you were
22.
content. What? No. What I mean was you were content to move on to the next thing that you lost. And then I stopped and I asked what was her name.
Right.
And your eyes searched for something at the top corner and a smile. And you went somewhere. Where did you? This.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you go? What? Tell me about Mildred Brinkley.
Page. Brinkley Southall.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
My mom was, she's special. She grew up small town country girl, worked hard. My mother was someone people just loved. When she passed, you would have thought a major celebrity had passed away in our hometown. The church was packed, overflow. And this was a woman who was so humble and was a giver. Now, she was a strong mama.
Come on.
Like, literally, there was times when Mom was so strict on me. I was like, you must not like me. Right. You must really hate me, But now I know it was love, right? It was discipline. It was order. Yeah. But I miss that guidance. Because when someone tells you go left and right and you learn to do it, at such a young age of, now I'm 22, just getting out of college, just really starting life, I didn't have that compass anymore. So I don't know, when you said it, I just thought of her. I don't know it. And I thought, you know what I thought of too? Virginia. My grandparents, my aunts, uncles, my dad, my sister, my family unit, the core of our family. I lost it. They're all gone now.
Well, that's it. Well, so they're all gone. But the reason why I asked for the name is because it's so easy to emotionally disconnect. And when we tell somebody who we've lost, we reduce our loved one to a lost one. We don't say their names. And so I would just challenge you whenever you talk about somebody that you lost. It's not that your mom died. It's that your mom, Mildred Page Brinkley Southall, died, right? Like, I try not to tell people that my brother died. I try to tell people my brother Sam died. And it is a different thing, right? That your loved one is not just a lost one. It's a loved one. Yeah.
And tell me about...
We just start. It's too early for the tears. I was planning for the tears, but not this soon.
Thank you. And I'll be honest. They'll tell you, I haven't had these since we started filming.
We buried my brother in Dallas 10 and a half years ago.
What was his name?
Sam.
I'm a quick learner.
There we go.
Yeah.
We buried my brother Sam 10 and a half years ago. And I've never been to his grave until this morning. I flew in early and I went there. Today.
Wow.
And it was the whole, I think when we talk about grief, we don't realize how much grief lives in our bodies, right? And it's a
I can feel it.
Body language, right? And so I think like part of my faith background, there were points in which like, if you grew up in a church like I did, you could be, sick, tuberculosis sick.
And they're still praying for your healing.
Right? And don't you fix your mouth to say I'm sick, right? It's don't speak that over you.
See?
And it's like it can be ingrained in us to treat our body as a liar. And it's what grief starts to teach you is that your body does not lie. It tells the truth, and it tells you truths that you don't even know were there. So it's this, right? I know my brother's in a better place, right? I've lived as if the body that's in the ground is just a shell, and I know the core of who he is not there. But I haven't been to his graveside in 10 and a half years.
Wow.
So I get there, I pull up, and I do not know what to do. How do you find it, right? It's a maze out there. So before I go inside, I go to Chat GPT and I say, how do you find your loved one? And they're like, go inside and ask somebody. So I go inside and I ask them, and they ask for his name and all that. And so I give it to him. And then this lady comes out, and she's got the best way I can describe is like parchment paper, like architects would have if they're getting ready to show
like
you
renderings.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
So we walk over. It is a very short walk. As soon as we get to the place, 20 steps from where we were, my body, I remember. And I see the gazebo, I see the pond, I see where his body was dropped into the ground. And so we walk over. Adriana, such a sweet soul. She could not read that map, but I'm like, yeah, I got it from here. So I walk over and I'm there for 20 minutes and I expect to feel a thing and I don't feel anything. So it's like, this is weird. I mean, I feel calm, I feel a sense of peace, and it's weird. And then I'm there and I'm like, I guess it's time for me to go. So I walk away and pat. Just uncontrolled, just the tears just flow and I cannot stop them. And I am just a mess, wailing as I go out. And I don't know what else to do, but I turn around and I walk back to the graveside. Tears stop. They stop.
I feel like I know what happened, but go ahead.
They just stop and I just feel this sense of peace. I try to walk away. The tears flow. And so we volley back and forth like that. And after 45 minutes, I just leave. And the same thing, tears flow. And for me, it was my body just remembers the safety of being close to my big brother's body. And you were just your body just reminds you of the love that you lost. Oh, no, I got some here, but we will
I know
pass
we're just meeting, but if you don't mind, I will sure give it to you.
Yeah, it's just, your body remembers. Your body.
You know what's interesting about what you said? Because I'm not a big cemetery person.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, my sister was a mortician. I know you took a minute.
Okay,
took a minute. You were like, oh, for real? Yeah, that's what she did. That's what her degree was in. She was amazing in that business. So I wasn't a big cemetery person, all of that, but she was always involved with, our family members that passed and friends, the community, all of that. Yeah. I'm thinking your brother is not really there.
Right, yeah.
And because I can already tell I'm an empath. You clearly have to be, because we're
just right there.
Right there, right? Already. You knew, you were expecting this connection, right? I think God was letting you know he ain't here. So when you walked away, you felt it, because really that's where he is in that spiritual realm. You know what I mean? God, but when you were there, God was like, no, he ain't there.
Yeah.
Right? That's what in that moment you were saying it.
Yeah.
Because I think many times we go back and visit these sites. Yeah. And I'll be honest, it's something I don't look forward to doing.
Right. So same. And that's why, for me it was, 10 and a half years, right? But it's So I do believe, or I don't believe that my brother's soul is still there. So in some ways, that place, it still is a shell. It is a vacant home.
Right.
But I do know, right? And it's I turned 41 this year. My parents.
You're a baby.
My parents still live in the same house that we moved into when I was in the 3rd grade. So the house that I moved into at 7.5 years old, my folks still live in that house.
That's beautiful.
The house that we lived in prior to that, 7211 Corda Calle, Houston, Texas.
Wow.
I have not lived there in 34 years. The home is vacant of everything that made it our home. But when I drive by it, I still feel a thing. I can remember and I can place the furniture from there. And so it's, my brother's grave is a vacant home, but driving by the address today did something to me, and it reminded me about the peace that I had next to my brother in his body, and it was,
And remember, there are so many memories in the home. I think that's a big part. So mine was 4300 Portsmouth Boulevard, Chesapeake, Virginia.
There we go.
23321.
757.
What you talking about? Yeah. Oh, wait, what do you know about that?
I have an allegiance to Texas.
Okay.
The greatest country in America.
It served as a great home
Listen
for
what
me
I'm saying.
for the last 20
But when you talk about
years.
athletes and there is one area code that just produces
Pharrell. Let me start for you.
Pharrell.
Pharrell.
You got the clues.
Michael Vick.
Yeah, Michael Vick.
We got
Allen
Missy
Iverson.
Elliott. Missy Elliott and I went to Vacation Bible School together. In
This is
Suffolk,
crazy.
Virginia, I promise you.
great. Yeah,
Alonzo Mourning,
Yeah,
Pernell Whitaker.
757.
Let me stop.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay. Because
Listen.
I'm such a proud Tidewater, Hampton Roads, Virginia girl to the
on.
core.
Okay.
So I get what you're saying.
Okay, yes.
So everything about that home,
Yeah.
I was 4 when we moved in there. My family, my father decided at some point to go ahead and sell the property. Because we used to live in the boonies, but now the boonies ain't the boonies, right? And so he sells the property, and no one told me when they were going to actually take down the house. My aunt and uncle lived next door. When I tell you I was home, I would always go home and ride by there, just want, to see. It's nostalgic, right? The day I rode by that house and it was gone,
Oh my goodness.
it took me out. So I get what you mean. And it's all again, there's something different about the cemetery. That's a moment too. But when those memories, oh my God, all that energy and Thanksgivings and Christmases and me riding my big wheel out on the driveway back and forth. You know what I mean? I talked about this the other day, but me out there trying to what do you call it? Scoop up tadpoles in the back ditch. You know what I mean? Cutting the grass with my dad. And I have all these memories. My uncle's trucks, because they were all farmers, pulled, just pulling up at the end of the day. All of that, I feel it, and I felt it gone. And I had to grieve that.
Because it's when you lose a thing or when you grieve a thing, right? So all grief is the right and appropriate response of sadness to a significant loss.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's stop there, because that's a good point.
Okay.
Loss. People just think it's death.
Okay, so this is where, right? You're about to get me into my bag. This is what I do.
That,
okay.
You come with
so,
this really.
No, listen. So the biggest thing with grief is that people don't understand what it is, right? Mm-hmm. So it is a different kind of thing than people use. And that's why metaphors matter. They are important. They teach you how to navigate reality. So when you come to, all right, what kind of a thing is this? The predominant thing that people are going to say is they're going to say grief is a journey.
Right.
Journeys have starts and they have ends, and grief starts
And
here.
they say it gets better every
Give
day.
it time, and
Yes.
and the only thing that you do when you tell people grief is a journey, you convince them that there is some light at the end of what often feels like a closed tunnel. And you give them the only thing in the world that is worse than real pain, and that is false hope. Right? It is like waiting for a bus in the Dallas summer that is never coming. So what we want to do is say, oh, no. Grief is not some event that we can broad jump over, right? Grief, it's more helpful for us to think of grief not as a journey, but a language, okay? The goal of a language is not to finish, it is to become fluent. It is for the purpose of connection. It's meeting a complete stranger, this first time we met.
I don't feel like it though.
But this is what I'm saying, because you meet somebody else who is fluent in your native tongue, and you just speak in the same way that if you're in Japan or somewhere and you hear somebody in a gift shop and they got that, Chesapeake, that 757 in their drawer.
I act the
You
fool
turn
too.
around and y'all are best friends, not because y'all know one another, but because they speak a dialect of your tongue. So when it comes to grief, this is the thing that folks don't know, or that folks miss, is that if grief is a language, every language has different dialects. Grief has at least two. Tangible grief, right? That is, I have a loved one. Their body is dropped into the ground at Sparkman Hillcrest, right up the road. I go to see them buried. The tears from my cheek water the gravesite, and I'm surrounded with people that give me support, at least for the first year. Ambiguous grief. This is a dialect that people don't know, but if you've ever gone through it, you're like, this is not just me being sad. This is like grief. Ambiguous grief is a death with no funeral, funerals with no caskets. It is having an entire life. Chimamanda, in her book Notes on Grief, she talks about the death of her dad, and one of the things that she says is she woke up with this sense, and this is how she knew it was grief. You wake up and you say, how quickly my life has become another life. That is the death of a marriage, right? Your name is the thing that you carry with you through your whole life. It is your identity, and that changes how quickly my life has become another life. Chronic illness, death of a friendship, death of the idea or picture that you had of somebody in your mind, right? And that's hard because it's one thing for somebody to die and they're not here.
Right.
It's another thing for somebody, you are alive, but not as I thought that you were.
No, the form of the relationship has changed.
It is gone.
And I mean, I saw marriage as a lifetime
That's what I'm
commitment,
saying.
right? And so even my first husband and then my second, it definitely was a death of, like you said, something that I saw for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And that was something that I should have taken the time to grieve.
Well, and it's I think I'm interested to hear from you with those things, right? Most people don't know to call them grief because they don't feel the permission to call them grief. And people will, on their best days, say, why are you so sad all the time? But on their worst days, they'll critique them and say, you should get up. You should do this.
Don't
Look
even.
at all of what you have.
Honey.
Look at this.
Oh, God.
Nobody's died. And your brain, this is the thing, your brain and your body do not physiologically know the difference between a tangible loss and an ambiguous loss. So when you were in that time, what was life like? What did it feel like?
Well, Oh, which part of it? You mean after divorces or my sister, my mom?
Yes,
All of it.
all of the above.
Because I've been on this journey, I've been really just working. So, I mean, first of all, God put me in isolation. So the last few years, I've really been able to do a little bit more searching. And one of the things I realized was I never grieved the loss of my mother for like 20 some years. It was like I had to survive it. And I have no idea. I don't know why I didn't really truly grieve it. I mean, of course, I was devastated. She had a 5-year battle with breast cancer. I remember having that ugly, ugly, hurtful cry the night of her funeral, later that night. But then it was like just jumped right back into life, right? And then from there, boom, I can just see where I started just making decisions that were not smart, wise decisions. And I realized I never took time between the different losses. First of all, like you said, I didn't even know marriage was supposed to be treated like grief. Right? Yeah. And because I love marriage, I love family, it was my heart to jump, okay, I gotta find my next husband, bring my family together, create a family. I love love, right? Yeah. So, but I never took the time to treat it like you're saying. Like, this is a major loss. You've got to heal. So I don't think I did anything much justice moving forward. Yeah. Just starting with my mother.
Yeah. What? I had a good friend, college roommate, freshman year. We've lived in the same city for the past 25 years. Mm-hmm. When we were 30, playing flag football at Thanksgiving, he sprains his ankle, goes down bad, goes to a doctor. Doctor tells him, yeah, it's a high sprain. Stay off it for 1 to 2 days and then start to walk on it, because it's just a sprain. So you gotta get up and walk. He did it for a week and it got terrible. It swole up, it was blue. Took him to a foot doctor, a friend of ours who is a foot surgeon. Puts him on the table, says, we need to get a MRI. She says, Rich, not only did you not sprain your ankle, this is the worst Achilles rupture I have ever seen in my life. And immediately, this is the thing for him, he was in no less pain, but for the first time in weeks, he had a smile on his face because he said, I knew I wasn't crazy.
Seriously.
People were telling me to put my weight on this thing, and he's like, and they didn't know there was nothing there. Everybody that twisted their ankles came to me and gave me all kinds of advice, but nobody had lost what I lost. And just being able to know that was the thing that set him free to say, I am not crazy.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's free.
Yeah. Is that what you felt?
Absolutely.
Did you feel any? Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that, especially years later.
Yeah. When did you feel that?
I would say the most with Pam, which was my sister who I lost 3 years ago. And the interesting thing about it, it was mostly, and they didn't mean it, but my children. Because they had already lost their Auntie Pam, right? And my sister was like their second mom. She didn't have children, but to her, they were her kids too, right? And I'm her baby sister. And so they, I think, had a hard time seeing me grieve. So it was kind of like, Mom, you gotta, of course they were so supportive, they had me. After like a little bit of time went by, in their minds, they're thinking, Mom, you're taking too long with this. And I remember one of my babies saying, Mommy, we need you too. And so I would try to pick myself up thinking, gosh, I got to get it together. They're right. They need me. I couldn't do it. I mean, I was, and literally not even, maybe a couple of months ago, one of my adult children too said, they came in town and I'm in my room. It's dark. They all know I'm usually in the house. I'm home. And he was like, Mama, you gotta like open these drapes up. You need to go outside and get some sunshine. You need to go out somewhere. And I said, I just don't feel like it. So yes, not that they meant to do it, because they're precious, they're innocent, they're going to learn from my experience, right? But yes, people do give you a time limit. And you're right, no one knows the language like you're talking about. And I've told people many times, I don't know when you have grieved too long, when it's too long versus, okay, did I grieve enough? Should I get up and push myself? Should I go to the gym? Should I go out to eat and push myself through it? And I would actually like you to speak to that. I still don't know.
Well, I'm interested to hear from you, right? Mm-hmm. So your kids at that point, it's real. I mean, they do need, sometimes when kids say, yo, Mom, like, we need you, I think sometimes what they mean, and not in a bad way, but they're like, Mom, we need the things that you provide for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
of course.
Yeah, and there are times where it's like, no, they need the hugs, snuggles, the affirmations, but they also need the meals, the laundry, the all of this stuff. And
the giggles.
Right.
Because we have fun. Like, our family is fun, right? And so, yeah, they missed even that energy.
Yeah. So I'm interested, when you went through all this stuff, I'm sure there were lots of people that do what folks do, and they say, let me know if you need anything, but what actually did the support look like, right? What parts were proactive and what parts were reactive? What parts were, hey, Pat, yo, if you need anything, let us know. And what parts were people just showed up and did things?
Wow, that's interesting. Because I go straight to, actually, my daughter Jasmine came in town for a few days for something, and I was fine. Yeah. I mean, it may have been Mother's Day, and that's my thing. I have all my kids around. I love it. So we had a great weekend. I mean, it's fun. We got food laid out everywhere, eating is what we love to do, music playing, and it's time for my daughter to leave. But it's not the part that, like, you would think because she's leaving, I'm gonna cry. No, I was good. Like, I'm used to my kids having to, they're all like adults except for one is 15. But literally she said, Mom, do you have something I can wear on the plane, right? And I said, oh yeah, honey, just go in there. It's whatever you pick is fine. How about she picks this jacket, button up, kind of fleece jacket that my sister wore to my son's football game in Stanford. And we went to breakfast, and I kept teasing her, like, I want that. That's so cute. She was like, oh, I just got it at Gap. I'm like, I don't care, but it's cute. She took it off and gave it to me. I have photos that I took in the jacket with some sunshades, modeling playfully in that same jacket. So she said, well, I need to wear it home. But then she brought it back to me on another visit. So when I cleared her apartment out and everything, that was one of the pieces I kept. Now, Jasmine wasn't even there for all that. To see the jacket situation, the photos, none of that. She went in my closet and picked that very piece. And when she walked out into my bedroom with that on, John, I lost it. Like, deep, it was heavy, scary. And she said, Mom, I'm not leaving you. And she held me, and, I'm so proud of my kids because they are mirroring us, right? And I see the beauty and the strength that at times we've had to give them, but now they're giving it to us, right? And that was one of those days where she held me and she canceled her flight, stayed an extra night, and just held me until I fell asleep. So I've seen that too. My mom's youngest sister, there's 9 kids, the youngest one, and I'm the baby too. She and I, my Auntie Sharon, we are so tight, have always been. And she and her husband, they still have their home, in Virginia. And so since my family's home is now gone, I I don't have, like you, I don't have that to go back to. They've always said, oh, you always have a home here in Virginia. Like, you have a home. Give me a key. I have, like, anytime I want to go back. So, of course, when Pam passed, that's where I stayed the whole time. And now they're always like, when you coming home? Because, you know, it's that thing of, like, your parents saying, oh, you can always come home, right? Yeah. It was something about when I lost my core family, my mom, my dad, and my sister, they're gone. As much as I love Virginia and home, there was like, where am I going to go home to? Where's my home now, right? But they provided that for me to this day. Yeah. So it's, yeah, I mean, I could like list, like we love blue crabs. That's our thing, right? Yeah. And so I got a brother, play Brother Lavoris, just home this summer. One of my aunties, he done brought in a bushel of crabs, laid it all out with all the, like, it's home. Yeah. Old Bay seasoning, it's our thing. Yeah. So people have showed up in beautiful ways, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that part, I'm very grateful for. As far as not showing up, I'm just trying to think. I'll be honest, I feel so bad. I was so isolated that people were trying to show up for me more, and I blocked a lot of it. I just didn't want to answer the phone. I think my phone has been on Do Not Disturb for 3 years.
I was the worst people pleaser in the world.
I don't know, I might have you right.
No, well, until my brother died. And then you just get to a point to where it's just like,
I'm doing the best I can.
I'm doing the best that I can. And so it's,
is he older?
Older, yeah. Yeah, Sam was a year and 4 months older than me.
Just the two of you?
No, I'm the third of 5. So,
okay. But he was he was like that one older than you, though.
One right above me.
I know, I can tell y'all were very close.
Yeah.
There's something about that.
Yeah. Where it's, so I mean, there's 2 things. The very first one is, and you spoke to it with your home being
like
torn down.
Like gone.
Yeah, gone. Sister, your daughter, jacket, and right, it's your daughter's gonna leave, and that's not what made you cry, but that jacket's gonna leave. That's what made it.
And the fact she picked that one out, and she was my first, and my sister and her were really close too. It was like, whoa, I mean, it took me down fast.
No, this is what grief does. So what like death and what loss and what grief does is it catches us off guard as we're forced to face something that takes place in the world, but something that our heart feels like shouldn't take place in the world. We are created to love people eternally. And when a loved one dies, right, grief is the response that you have to sadness or loss. Grieving, and I learned this from my friend, Dr. Mary Frances O'Connor, grieving is the process of learning how to live in the world without them.
That is so true.
So it's this: you do not move through the world based on how you see the world. You move through the world based on how your brain remembers the world. And so in this way, your brain is like a GPS. So think about if there is a through street right here and it gets turned into a cul-de-sac and you plug into maps to go down the route that you've gone through 1,000 times and your car gets there and you pull up and you're like, wait, but this says that I should go there. Why can't I? And so you back up. Maybe the next time you just drive through and it's like, oh yeah, this ain't a through street anymore. It takes time for you to learn. This is what it is with grief. We have a loved one, a person, a thing where we are used to the people or the things that I love. I interact with them in a way where we are constantly making new memories.
So true.
When death hits, when divorce hits, when you have to come to grips with the fact, I do not get to make new memories with this person anymore. and you're hit with this is wrong. And it's not just that I don't get to make it with them, but it's now the only thing that I have left are the memories that I have, and they are in wet ink, and time is raindrops that is just going to make those more blurry and fuzzy and fuzzy and fuzzy. When we have a sign or a thing from our loved one, we have the security to know that at some point, at least I'm gonna bump into that thing and say, oh yeah, and it's gonna take me back. But when that house is gone, you know on the inside, I'm never gonna drive by and say, oh yeah. So I've lost that. When the jacket is getting ready to get on a flight, you're like, no, wait, this is my, oh yeah. I had this big pair of slippers that my brother got me, the ugliest slippers. I went to school at Baylor,
right?
But they were green and white, the worst slippers. And I never wore them. And my wife was like, you never wear these. Like, why do you keep them here? Right. And it's because Sam gave them to me. And I know that I'm gonna bump into them and I'm gonna say, oh yeah. Right. And so I think that's what hurts so much, is that we are reminded that what was a through street right to our loved ones is a cul-de-sac now. So yeah, there's that. And
can I just say this?
Yes, please.
And the cul-de-sac doesn't look anything like the street.
No.
So like for me, holidays seem different. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Not seem,
are different.
They are a different thing.
Yes, I remember the first Christmas after my mom passed, it was awful. Like it was so sad. You know what I mean? And even though, so my father had my sister, but man, it was like, I didn't even like to go home. Right. It just felt different. Mm-hmm. And then when I look at every loss, even with marriage, it's like, you're right. Even though you know this is what we need to do, there's still that grieving process of loss. Yeah. What is that? Like when somebody passes, we don't get to have a part in that, right? God declares that. But what happens when you make the decision for a loss, but then you still grieve it afterwards? You would think you'd be happy, like, okay, it's done. I don't have to deal with, or things are gonna be different. Why are you still hurting?
There are things that are within our control. That is a shoe that you tie the lace together. There are things that we grieve. That is another shoe that we tie together. I think what we do in our heads is we say, oh, well, if I can control it, then I shouldn't grieve it because it was my choice. And when you do that, you tie two shoes together and you're gonna trip and fall over. Just because it's in your control, it doesn't mean that you can't grieve. To grieve is the right and appropriate response to significant loss. It has nothing to do with who was responsible, the intent, if it was right or wrong. Like, grief is how we respond to what life brings our way, even if we were behind the steering wheel of the part of life that brought it our way. And so,
like even a job loss.
All of that.
Or you decide to leave your job, right?
All of that.
That still is a loss. I hear what you're saying, yeah. Regardless of whether you choose it or not, it's different.
This is what I'm saying. And I think we make the mistake of treating comfort in grief like a ride at the fair. And we tend to tell folks, your grief has to be this tall for you to be able to be consoled. And it's like, no, that is not the case at all. Like, we grieve over the things that were done to us. We grieve over the things that we've done. And it's part of it is this, right? Grief is hard enough in and of itself. What complicates it the most is shame that comes with that grief.
Oh,
and so we tell ourselves, well, I can't grieve because it's my fault, or I shouldn't grieve because I know that they're in a better place. And when we throw that shame in there, all that it does is it is a thief, and it keeps us from being able to, right,
Embrace that moment
embrace
of what it is.
to lean in, right? Grief is not a thing that we have to run from. It is a thing that we lean into, right? Like grief, yeah. We talked about coffee, but before we
I'm
got
so
here,
excited about it. Thank you for my coffee.
yeah,
From your
well,
new line and my coffee cup.
well,
Thank
it's
you.
well, what I found is that most people tend to avoid processing their grief for the same reason they avoid drinking black coffee. In their mind, they think, yeah, this is bitter. And so what I have to do to be able to stomach this down is I've got to load it up with all types of cream, sugar, and all types of things so that I don't really taste the coffee. And they imagine themselves successful if they don't taste the bitterness of the coffee. The problem is coffee is not a bean. Most people don't know coffee is a fruit. It is the pit
You've
of
got
a
to be
coffee.
kidding me.
There is a coffee cherry indigenous to Ethiopia. Coffee is the little pit of that fruit. So what you find, coffee takes on the flavor of its soil. So it does have all of these notes in it. The disclaimer is this. You only get to taste the subtle sweetnesses of the coffee if you lean into the bitterness, right? If you lean in, you'll find that there are these subtle sweetnesses that are on the back end, but they're only reserved for people that are leaning.
Right.
Grief is the same way. I think people are so scared because they feel it's bitter.
Like if I get in that place, I may not be able to come out.
I may not be able to come out.
And it don't feel good
It's
either.
not. The only people that get stuck in grief are people that try to avoid grief.
That was me. I couldn't embrace the loss of my mother.
You know what
I
it's
just couldn't
like.
even. Like I didn't know it at the time.
Right.
But it was like, boom, I went right back to work. I competed in Miss Virginia, went straight on Miss USA, but before, like within a year, I was married. I mean, like it just, so let me talk about that really quick.
Yeah.
Can you have compounding grief?
Can you?
Because I feel like my sister's loss has just been so, like the grief has been heavy, like painful physically, emotional. My whole life has shifted. And I'm going, is it because I really didn't grieve all these years? Things that it's like just all compounded together at some point?
Financially, there's two ways to grow wealthy. One is you can get an inheritance or a lump sum dropped on you.
Right.
The other way is compound interest. Yeah, $1,000 here. You put $1,000 in the bank week after week, and you look up, and 30 years later, you are very rich in wealth. Grief is the same way. You could have a 9/11 size trauma dropped on you, or you can grow up and experience unprocessed death, friendship trauma, relational trauma, divorce, disappointment. And
you know what,
before
another one I didn't know either? My children growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was grieving as each one went off to college. I promise you, it felt like somebody died. I would get them to the airport or either leave them, really do their rooms and leave them at that dorm, and literally I'd lose it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it took me days to get from crying just by walking by their bedrooms.
Yep. Have you ever been in traffic? Right. Yeah, this is what takes place. And you see on the map, it's red, but it says it's going to take me 12 minutes to get home. And you just don't want to sit in that slow red. So you hop off and you're like, yeah, I'll take the back way.
Service road.
And everybody else the same thing. And before you know it, it's 45 minutes to get home. What you thought was a shortcut actually made it longer. There is no way to get around it. There's some times where it's just with grief, the people that try to avoid it are the people who never get past it. The only people that move through it are the people that lean in,
stay in that traffic,
and embrace it, and realize that it is this is not a detour from life. Like, this is Life, this is the very thing that reminds us that life's moments are as precious as they are fragile.
Yes.
Every time you grieve, you are reminded of the fact, like Francis Weller says, everything in this world that you love, you will lose. And that weight tends to sit on people's soul and it makes them sad, but that truth is not meant to make us sad, it's meant to make us sober. It's meant to remind us that, I've got an 8-year-old daughter. My 8-year-old daughter every night says, Dad, will you snuggle with me? There's some nights when I'm just so tired, I'm like, baby, can I just get into the bed? But I am reminded, everything in this world that you love, you will lose. And there's gonna be a day that I'm not gonna be able to do that. And so every night, like going through grief, it has made me a better, more present father. And it reminds me that times like these, it's good to meet a stranger and to spend my time on a couch crying and talking about the things that really matter. And life is as fragile as it is precious. And so what grief does, if we'll let it, is it makes us a better, more present version of ourselves, which is the only thing that we
Can't control.
want. Yeah, and it's what we want.
So when is grief bad? Like, I know that as I was grieving, my body ached. Like literally sometimes when I'm feeling grief, like really, really strong grief in a moment or sadness, or I can feel it in my body, like my literal chest, like my heart is aching, right? And so is that unhealthy? Like, because they talk about like your emotions can affect your body in so many ways. When is it
Not
healthy?
Not can, do, right? So it's not feeling it in your body is the way you are supposed to feel, right? So it's like, it's not what's wrong with me. It's no, something is very, very right with you because your body,
Everything, my shoulders, my neck.
it's trying to
Everything.
tell you something. It's trying to tell you there is something that is going on in your life that you need to attune to. And grief, this is the thing, grief needs to be metabolized. It needs to be processed. It's not meant to just sit at the bottom of our souls. It's meant to be formed and shaped into a thing. So when it sits there, your body's saying, you need to attend to this. So that is a great sign to us where it's like when you feel that, right?
That
and
pain.
so it's you start to learn and you tell folks, hey, I don't want you to ask me how I'm feeling, because I'm gonna say fine. I need you to ask me, where am I feeling what?
Wow.
And so you sit back and it's like, oh, all right, no, okay, no. I'm feeling tight in my shoulder. I'm feeling my head. I'm feeling this. And then they sit and they say, all right, what does that mean? Your calendar is too busy. You've got to slow down and attend to this. Because if you don't, then this is not going to get better, right? So it's helpful not to, like, if a check engine light comes on in your car, you don't say, what's wrong with my car that all these lights come on? You say, I'm grateful that this part of my car works right because it's telling me that there is a thing there. When your body starts to feel that way, it is a check engine light that's saying, Pat, yo, you gotta chill, you gotta slow up, sis.
Or go get help.
Process, work, yeah. And it's interesting how much our bodies and our souls are connected.
It is. I mean, even I had sinus surgery, and literally when I get real stressed or irritated or hurt or disappointed, my sinuses hurt.
And that is a clear sign. Slow down. Stop. Right? Like,
Which is so I love you saying that because you're giving me permission to do
Oh,
that. So I think you don't want to seem lazy or like, again, you're taking too long to process this. You got to move on. Something must be wrong. You don't want to seem like you're weak, right? I was, I talked about my mother. My mother, like she was a force, right? Now I realize there was probably things she went through that she never even shared. Had to have, because life is about suffering at times, right? But I just think about like just how many of us just try to be Wonder Woman, Superman, and not acknowledge these feelings and emotions and deal with it in a way that doesn't bring about shame or pity.
It's a reason why those characters are make-believe, right? Like
That is true.
Iron Man, go to the comics and you look at the thing, and one of the things that they say is these proportions would never work in real life. A real person could never fit into a thing like this. And it just helps us see that I do not care about being strong, because I know a lot of people that have strongman their way into a heart attack, into a premature
Literally.
grave. And
Yes.
that's not what I'm trying to do. I am okay with being weak, because once you admit that you're weak, you give people permission to say, like, me too. There is this small part in the Bible that a lot of people gloss right over, right? Yeah, regardless of what folks feel about it. It is the night before Jesus is getting ready to go to the grave. And what he says is he's giving the people that are with him an invitation to be weak. And everybody's trying to talk about how strong they are. And in Mark chapter 14, he's going into the garden, and the narrator just says this, and he was deeply distressed and afraid. What a narrator in a story does is they give you X-ray vision into the main character's heart so that you see what they see, so that nobody else sees it. So it's like right now, the only people that know that he's deeply distressed and afraid are him and us that read. And the very next verse, it says, and Jesus said to them, I'm deeply distressed and afraid. So what you have is the person with the most courage and strength, the person who knew the outcome at the end, looks at folks that are trying to be strong, and he's like, I'm scared. Y'all don't have to.
He even said, can this not come my way, right?
This is what I'm saying. And so, but I think it's like that kind of invitation of sharing that you're scared, that I think this, right? It solves the real problem to grief. All right. So when you say, like, when is grief bad? Grief is bad when it is done in isolation. That's what I'll say.
And I will tell you, I have spent so much time in isolation.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'll say. We spend time in isolation because we think grief is like a marathon, and the only person that can run this race is me. And this is what grief is, a different kind of thing. This is what I mean. I tell a story all the time. I used to say that my daughter was scared of the dark because she would have these terrible dreams. Pat, she would run out of her room, sprint down the hallway into my room, and she moved past my wife's side of the bed. She'd come up to my side of the bed and she would say, Dad, can I snuggle with you? Can I just stay in the bed? And we're like, yeah, sweetheart. She climbs in, and it's cool for 15 minutes. And then she sleeps wild, right? And it's like,
I was going to say, you are amazing, Dad.
no. It's
hard.
Ava.
Yeah.
You got to get back to your bed.
I used to have to walk mine back to there.
This is what I'm saying. Well, look, okay.
Uh-oh.
So she gets up out of the bed and she says two things, Pat. One is unsurprising. The other one gets me every time. She says, but Dad, I'm scared of the dark, which I expect her to say. The request is what throws me off. She says, Dad, can you hold my hand and walk me back to my room? Do you know what she never asked me, Pat? She never asked me to turn the lights on. because she's like, what I've learned is like, my daughter's not scared of the dark. My daughter's scared of being alone in the dark. And she would rather be with me in the dark than to be alone in the light. And what I'm saying is like, that's it, right? Grief is, people think that the way that you solve grief is we've got to silver linings and turn the lights on. And that's where folks are like, how long is it going to take? And we just want you to, let's pull the blinds back, Pat, and let's let you. And what grief reminds you is, I don't want to be alone. I found that when you're in a dark room, the people that really know what grief is like, they do not roll the blinds back and try to bring light in the room. They make sure that the blinds are tucked away, and they climb in the bed with me in the dark, and they say, I just want to be with you in the dark. And do you know what? Doesn't that feel so much better than having somebody just turn the lights on?
My son EJ, the one I was talking about, who he came home and, it was like, I'm in the dark room. He said, Mom, you got to get out and get some sunshine. But do you know that same trip, he got in the bed? He's going to kill me for telling me about this.
It's okay.
But I mean, he's 23 years old, right? Got a big old beard. He is a man child. And he's always been so independent. But he loves the Lord. And when I tell you, he got in the bed on the other side, and it was so cute. He says, so wonder you stay in here all the time, because it was so comfortable. But that meant so, because that's not his thing. So not even as a little boy, he never would get in the bed. When I tell you that meant so much to me, I didn't want to go outside that day, but he came in the dark with me.
It's not the loss. It is the loneliness that does us in, Pat. I heard somebody say, trauma is when your emotional pain cannot find a relational home. When you have this deep loss and you do not have another physical body to help you hold on to it.
No, like literally, and I'm talking like I had a busy family, you know what I mean? Dynamic. My original core family, aunties, uncles, grandparents, all that, to now my life looks nothing like it did 10 years ago. Nothing. So absolutely, it's like I'm getting used to it. I believe God's done a great work in this season on me. Like, I mean, look at what I'm doing today with you. Like I couldn't have seen this a year ago. So I am like, I guess I'm gonna just say this. I think there were times when I didn't know, am I still grieving? Am I, still dealing with the divorce? Yeah. Is this because of my kids have all gone off, except for Elijah, my baby. He's in high school. What is this? Is it menopause?
Yeah, right.
Is it depression? Yeah. Like, what is it? Yeah. And so I think a lot of times people are going through grief and you just don't know what part of it is what. It's such a, you know what I mean? And maybe it's all the above and parts of some.
Trying to determine or decipher what is grief and what is not is like trying to separate grains of sand. Wow. You put two shades of sand, a dark sand and a light sand in a bowl, and you spend to try to put them back. It really doesn't work like that, right? There'd be times with kids that I worked at a camp with where I told them, it's like, hey, y'all, this is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to take all the water from the shallow end of the pool and put it in the deep end, and take the water from the deep end and put it in the shallow. And they would jump in and then they'd be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
To sit in a try to say, well, what's grief and what's not?
You struggle.
Changing water from different sides of the pool, and it's less about, it's there, and it's knowing that as time goes on, you're gonna grieve differently and different things, right? My brother took his last breath April 14th, 2015. April 14th, 2017, I'm sitting in the NICU with my daughter who had been born premature 8 days before, had not taken a breath on her own. The thing about the worst day of your life, April the 14th, is you secretly hope that no other day takes first place. So you just hope that the worst day of your life stays the worst day of your life. And I remember that day, all the makings of another April 14th tragedy hit. I remember all the beeps and the tones of the breathing machine that reminded me my daughter was still breathing. And before I know it, the doctor snatches her out of my hand. And all those beeps go deafeningly silent. And in my head, I think, April 14th, not again. And he placed it back in my hand. And I'll never forget when he just whispered the words in my ears. Today's the day that your daughter's gonna breathe on her own. 2 years to the day my brother took his last breath, my daughter takes her first breath. Ooh. And you just see that. And it's like, and at that point, you just sit back and it's like, all right, somebody else is writing this story and I can rest in that. And do you know what? For 2 years, I was frustrated, I was mad, I was angry, I didn't know which way was what. And in an instant, as I looked in the rearview mirror over the course of the past 2 years, what God did in life made sense in a way that it doesn't make sense in the windshield or as you look ahead. And so it is just being content with people knowing in the wake of grief, it is just gonna be hard years. And those hard years shrink the circle of people that you have. You imagine that it's wide and those hard years show you who's there. And then there's a time where it makes sense. And you say, thank you for the core people that I have. And you are reminded that the tragedy, the loss is a tragedy. And that's something that we can't control. The loneliness is a trauma that we know we need to spend our time and make sure that if we're going to be in the dark, that we're surrounded by people that at least know, don't let me be alone in the dark. Climb into bed with me. Yeah.
Beautiful. I will never forget that. Yeah. Even as I go on to support her.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
I swear you're my brother.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I just, yeah. Thank you. That's all I can say. Oh, yeah. And I hope you get home tonight to be able to walk your baby girl to her bedroom.
In the morning.
Oh, that's right. You leave tomorrow.
No.
So when you get home.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
I will.
And thank your wife for allowing you to even
absolutely.
come all the way to Dallas to help me on this journey, and hopefully so many other people that will listen to this. Oh, yeah. Because I believe it's something that we all, well, first of all, I know it's something that we all will deal with. We will always have loss of many kinds. We will always have to go through the grieving period. And I think you've just made it, I don't know, you just made it more simplified. I'm like, where were you 3 years ago? No, actually way longer than that when I lost my mom. And I hope somebody is listening that will grieve differently because you were here today. Thank you. You freed Pat.
Free Pat.
Free Pat. I feel free. Oh, God. I don't want to ever go back.